together as colleagues. Actually, I know him a bit further because a bit more in depth because he's a resident of Point Lally and I'm a resident of Cascade. But I know him mostly know him because we work together and we're colleagues.
Okay. What do you mean Cascade are two districts close to one another? Point Lally and Cascade, they are two districts that are very close to one another.
Thank you, Commissioner. Okay, so would I be correct to say you have no resentment towards him?
No.
Or should I ask you, do you dislike him for anything?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think, and I'm just asking what you think, do you think he does not like you?
I don't know about this.
Okay, that's absolutely fine. So you would not have any reason to lie?
No.
When it comes to Sergeant Tonijo?
Yes.
Okay. I'm asking you that question because you said he was there leading the forces, the troops, the operation going into the mail block. And he has denied that.
I heard.
Yeah, he has denied that. So that's why I'm asking you that question. When I understand, or maybe let me also ask you another question. What is the nature of the relationship with Inspector Ivan?
Same. I know him.
It's the same.
Know him from prison. Yes.
Okay, so you would not have any reason to paint him in a negative picture?
No.
Okay. Is there anything that you think Inspector Ivan did during that operation which you think was a good thing? Which you think, because he was your leader, and is there something that he did during that operation which you can say this was a good thing?
I don't think so.
I'm not asking you to evaluate his behavior on the day. No. I'm just saying, is there one or two things that you saw him doing, or you heard him saying, or one or two things that he instructed to you as officers, which you can say this was a good thing?
It's not. Nothing is coming to mind.
Nothing comes to mind. But you said, when Inspector Ivan was at the foreigner section, it's Tonijo. Okay. And anything that Tonijo did on the day which you think was a good thing?
Yes.
Like what?
Jek saban gahan wana siga tila me kichi pion te pa fe zo nan foreigner sa.
Yes, he told the police officers or army officers that were trying to gain access inside that section, don't do anything to them, they're foreigners.
Okay, we will come back to that statement later, but work with me for now. So you are prepared to acknowledge if Sergeant Tonijo does or says something good. So you have no reason to.
Yep.
You have no vendetta against him. Okay. So when he says he was not part of the prison officers that accompanied the police and the military into the prison section, he would be lying.
Of course.
And I'm putting this question to you because you were
There.
One of the officers that went into the prison sections. Okay. Did you at all times during that operation inside? Did you at all times see Sergeant Tony John? Did you always see him?
No.
Okay.
No.
Do you know of anything that he might have done which he might not be proud of during that operation?
No, because I didn't see him.
You didn't say. You didn't. Did you hear of anything from anyone?
No.
Did you hear of any allegations that he may have helped the troops and the police to identify certain inmates?
No.
Did you hear that he may have tortured or beaten up any inmates?
Oh, no, I didn't hear about
Didn't
this.
hear anything
No.
like that. Did you hear anything about Inspector Ivan, which is similar to what I've asked about
No.
Tony Joe? Nothing.
No.
Okay. You said your role as prison officers was to accompany and guide the police and the army through the prison so that they know how to move around.
Mm.
Now I just want a yes or no. Did you see any prison officer helping the police and the military to identify certain specific inmates?
No.
Did you hear any military officers asking prison officers to identify or to confirm whether to confirm the identities of certain inmates?
No.
Yeah. I'm aware that there was you said they asked for directions to the cell where the two brothers are. But that's not what I'm asking about. I'm asking if any military officer, if any police officer.
Yeah, I understand. No.
Okay. So apart from just guiding the in fact, let's go back to how were you guiding them?
Just show them the staircase.
Okay. So you just
To
say
have access to.
these are okay.
Yeah.
These are the staircases. This is how you get in.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you said you said yes, there were grenades that were taken into the prison. How were they used?
Was mau papuak mo sa mautan piti.
Didn't see how it was used, but I heard it go off.
You had it go off, but you didn't see how it was
No.
used. Did you feel it? Or did you experience it?
Something gas.
Okay. Have you, in your training, ever used a grenade?
Anyway, I was a military officer. I was a soldier before.
Okay. So under what circumstances do you normally use? What type of a grenade was this one? If you saw it,
I will not know.
you will not know.
No.
But under what circumstances do you normally use grenades?
Saban ko
In your
ina
experience.
saban ko ina the hadavik ha ina kisolda service different.
There's a difference between the grenades used by the police and the ones used by the soldiers,
So what do
the
you
army.
Okay, what do you think this one that
I know. I heard there's grenade for crowd.
sorry you had?
For crowd dispersing comme si pour disperse la foule.
So was
They use it to disperse the crowd, to disperse the crowd
Okay, to
or
disperse the crowd.
gatherings,
Yeah.
group of people.
In your experience, when you disperse the crowd, do you use grenades or tear gas?
No, it's some tear gas grenade I'm talking about.
So you are talking about it. So the grenade you're talking about is the tear gas.
Yes.
Okay. Now, and thank you for that clarification. So, under what circumstances do you use tear gas?
No, I'm not trained in this.
Have you ever used it?
Tear gas grenade? No.
Tear gas? Let's call it a tear gas.
Yeah, no, I never use this.
You have never used
No.
a tear gas. Okay. Have you ever been trained on how to use a tear gas as a prison officer?
My personal one, yes.
What is personal one?
The one we carry in our belt.
Okay, the one you carry.
Yes.
Okay. And do you think so you have an idea of how a tear gas is used because you were trained. You've never practically used it, but you were trained on how to use it. So let's go back to the incident that when you had, and I'm sure you also experienced,
Yes.
smelt it or experienced it in your eyes. Do you think that is one of the circumstances where it is appropriate to use tear gas?
I don't know this.
You don't know. But let's go back to your training. They surely should have given you knowledge on, the circumstances under which tear gas is used.
My personal one? Okay.
Your personal one, because that's the one that's supposed to be used in the prison.
Okay.
Yeah. So when they trained you, so when you look at the circumstances under which the tear gas was used on the day that we are talking about, is it the appropriate circumstances where a tear gas should be used, according to your training? You don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, no, it's
Yeah.
fair. It's fair. Was it an open environment?
No.
So it was closed.
Yes.
At the time that you heard the tear gas exploding, were the inmates fighting? Were they fighting against the soldiers?
No.
Were they throwing stones?
No.
Okay. Let's go back to this statement that Tony Joe said. He said, don't do anything to these. They are foreigners. What did that mean? What did you understand that to mean?
Ci fini des ans in metate na to dali pie. Len lunget sa situation in Gisa.
I believe he already had an inmate on the floor with a wound, an open wound or a hole in the leg. Looking at the situation, I think he looked at the situation around him and said what he said.
So when he said this, there was an inmate who was badly injured.
Yes.
So you would assume that it means don't assault them like that because they are foreign nationals.
Yeah.
So if they are locals, you can assault them.
Yes, I don't know.
During this operation, was there any instruction that you heard? I recognize, according to your testimony, that you were not in control. But did you hear any instruction being given by those who were in control, an instruction being given to the inmates to evacuate from prison.
Evacuate, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So there are certain key incidences that you highlight in your testimony. The first was when you were in the ground, on the ground. So when you entered the ground, there were no inmates, right? Because they had gone up, right? So when you were on the ground, was there an announcement done to say, inmates,
okay,
we
no.
are ordering you to evacuate?
No, no.
So
No,
there was
but-
no announcement.
Yes. Mais seulement, one sortin fin attendre, il y a time mettre la main là, sortin barrer pour sortir.
But once we had gained access inside, many of the inmates had their hand up in surrender, and they were ready to go out.
Okay. So before you entered, there was an announcement that was done. I heard that. Now, when you entered in, most of the inmates, well, not all, right?
Sorry?
You are not saying all the inmates. You are saying some. But I think you said most, right? Of the inmates had their hands raised up.
Yeah.
So in your training, what does that mean when an inmate raises their hand?
They surrender.
They've surrendered.
Yeah.
So were they, those who had their hands up, were they given any opportunity to come?
Not really.
Not really. What happened there? I just want to...
This bati, quand même la meilleure les, this bati.
They were just beaten up. Even the ones that had their hands up, regardless of that, they were still beaten up.
Okay. So let's go to the 6th of December. You said there was the army there. I know you answered some questions, and I might be repeating some things, but it's for clarity. What did you say was the purpose of the army on the 6th?
Pour sans, il y a certains sans section, mettre d'autres bonnes sections, faire nettoyer toute section.
We had to change some of the inmates from one section to another and place them in the correct section and have them clean it as well.
So it was moving
Yes.
inmates and then ordering them to clean. You have worked at the prison for 8 years.
Yes.
During those 8 years, was there any disturbance, any unrest, any riot that you witnessed?
No.
No.
but,
Okay. And in those 8 years, that's enough experience for you to probably answer the question I'm going to ask you. Do you need the military to arrange inmates in the cells and to get them to clean the cells?
No.
Is this something that you normally do?
No.
No, when I say this, I mean, do you normally ask inmates to clean their cells?
No. Never.
Okay. Yeah, but you are from security, so maybe you wouldn't know whether they... The question I'm trying to ask, though, is it necessary to bring in the military in order to instruct the inmates to clean the cells?
No.
Right. Okay, I think those are the questions that I had. Commissioner Tirant?
Yeah, I haven't got much, but just to further on what Commissioner Justice asked about tear gas, as an ex-army officer, a tear gas, would it do any good to help the person throwing the tear gas at other people in an enclosed area? Do you think it will sort the problem out?
Agree.
It's an enclosed area. We all know the prison. Yeah. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. Do you think it is wise to throw tear gas inside this area?
No.
It's not normal.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you are just looking for more trouble. Okay. Now, were you aware, or did you notice, or were you told that there was a list of names that was being carried out by certain officers or officer inside the prison at that time of the operation?
Can makaji sa of camera boy ap maji sot mo iso.
Okay. You want to say off
Can I?
Okay, yeah. Okay. Now, I don't know if I should put this one first or the other one. Okay, let me go to that. Do you know when somebody uses the term chapeau to a person? Do you understand this term?
Yeah, I think so.
So what do you understand by this term?
Sapo. Jimon kin fe bien mo kwa.
I believe it's when somebody has done good.
Okay? That's
Yeah.
your take, yeah? So, as we all heard on the national media, in a certain press conference that happened, the CP of prisons was given chapeau to the operation that took place. Did you hear about this?
No.
You did not hear about this? Okay. Now, if the operation happened at the prison, and the way you've explained things, do you think chapeau should go to the Commissioner of Prisons or should it go to the military?
Sapo ku pa son mo kwa.
I don't think chapeau should go to anybody.
Because
If he says no, then
It's not to anyone.
okay.
No one should be.
So there was no
should be
one
congratulated.
to be said chapeau. Okay. Now, before I conclude, did you, after the operation, participate in any debrief by the prison authorities to explain how the mission went about, any successful stories and negative stories? Was there a debrief that happened?
No.
Were you given any information about the incident after it took place from your
No.
commander?
No.
You didn't. Okay. Now, lastly, I would like your views, yeah? Would you say that the prison authorities at this point, when it was happening, would you say that the prison authorities had surrendered control, okay, of their duties and responsibilities and their duty of care towards the inmates entrusted to them by the judiciary to outside forces that came in?
Yes.
So you think the prison authorities had surrendered their duties and responsibilities and the duty of care to the people they were entrusted to keep and safeguard?
Yes.
Okay.
Just one last thing. I understand that none of the prison officers is given training in how to deal with a riot.
Yep.
And do you think that that sort of training is needed?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, perhaps just one follow-up question. You know, when you said the military asked for directions to the cell where the two brothers and then you later on identified these two brothers. But did they? Are those two brothers the only brothers in prison at the time?
Yes. I know.
Because I just want to know how you thought it's Fabio and Dario.
I know they are in this particular
Okay.
section.
So they know they point
No,
at
me,
this.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You know the cell. The military says we want you to show. You want.
No.
Uh,
I point Montagne. I don't know if military or police.
okay.
I just Montagne Montagne Zutpekui Oli Adifa. Sadi boss.
At a certain point, I don't know if it was a military officer or if it was a police officer, but I heard an officer say, "Where are those two brothers? Where are those two brothers?"
Okay. Okay. And how? My question is, why do you think it's Dario and Fabio? Yeah, but you say
I don't think he understood
À
it.
cause ou tu crois, les entendre ça, à cause que tu crois, tu peux cause spécifiquement le Fabio avec Dario.
They are the brothers.
they are the two brothers, but are they the only two brothers?
I know them. Mama kon Saturday, this is what they give.
Okay.
Good police.
I only know those two
Okay.
in prison that are brothers.
Okay. So you suspect it's they were referring
Yeah.
to those two. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. No, that's fine. So thank you very much for your testimony, Corporal Daniel
Yes.
Delcy. If you have a right not to be victimized, for having come forward to give your testimony this afternoon. If you experience any victimization directly or indirectly, please report to the commission so that we can take appropriate action. It is a criminal offense for anyone to victimize you as retribution for your testimony this afternoon. We are going to ask the media to terminate the broadcasting, but before you do so, I think there is some. What time tomorrow? 9:45. So the next broadcasted or the next testimony that will be broadcast is at 9:45 a.m. tomorrow. So you can terminate the broadcast, and then I'm going to ask everyone to evacuate from the room. Then we will call you back.